friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade Not Hallmark. This is card number 9 for my Christmas in July series. I know it's August 1st today. I was having some technical issues and I couldn't get my video uploaded at the end of July, but I really wanted to share this one with you. I absolutely love it. Clearly Besotted images were so fun to play with, and I really wanted to share with you how I created this one layer scene card using these cute images. I really hope you enjoy this card, so let's get into it. The first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to get my images stamped down and masked off before I got into my ink blending. But I wanted to make sure that I was staying within the general area that I had in mind for my little scene here. This card is going to be one layer, so I won't have to do any die cutting. I won't have to do any layers with foam tape. This is a nice, simple one layer card with just a few embellishments, so it's a nice card for mailing. But I wanted to get this stencil laid down because this is the one I plan on using for my actual masking, and I wanted to make sure that I had room for all of my little images. I pre-cut out my little masks here. This is just some Inkadinkado masking paper, and I fussy cut them out ahead of time just to save a little bit of time. They really weren't that hard to cut out. The only one that took me a little bit longer was the trees, but all in all, it really wasn't that difficult. I was going to use all 3 of these Yetis on here, but I just didn't like the layout. I wasn't really loving it, so I decided just to go with the 2 Yetis on the front, and then I used one on the inside a little bit later. So once I've decided what I'm going to do here, I am going to get my images stamped out. So whenever you do masking, you always want to have the images that are going to be in the foreground, so in the front, to be stamped down first. And then the images that are going to be in the background will get stamped second, because you're going to stamp your images in the front, cover them up with masks, and protect them. So whatever images you're stamping on the background, or that will go in the background, won't kind of ruin your images in the front because they're protected by those masks. So once I've kind of decided completely on how I want my little layout to be, I can go ahead and get those stamped down. So I kind of place my stamps how I want to arrange them, and then that way I know that whichever ones are actually sticking to the door of the MISTI, those are the ones that need to go first. So I'm just using some extreme black ink from My Favorite Things. This is a Copic friendly ink, and I am using some Neenah cardstock here. It's not my favorite for ink blending. I prefer Bristol, but I'm going to be using my Copic markers, and Bristol smooth cardstock isn't the best for Copic markers. So I just kind of compromised, and I went ahead and used the Neenah for all of it. I'm going to get my little masks attached to my front images, or my foreground images, so that they're protected whenever I do my stamping of my tree. Now, the only one that really kind of got any kind of over stamping, I guess you could say, would be the one with the present over his head. The other one was fine. I didn't have any issues with that one, but I just wanted to keep him protected regardless, because I am going to do ink blending, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't ruin the area that he was in. Going to get this second little guy covered up here, and then I can stamp my tree down. I was having a hard time getting these lined up, and I couldn't figure out why. Whenever I do fussy cutting for images like this, I like to cut right on the line of the image so that it kind of sits on the inside of the stamped image, so I don't get any like weird ghosting. And I wanted to position my trees just right so I had room next to it to place my greeting, because I plan on doing that near the end of my card. I wanted to heat emboss it after I had all my ink blending and coloring finished. So again, using that same Memento. Oh my gosh, I'm not using Memento. Oh, I am using MFT's Extreme Black Ink. I tell you guys, my brain is fried. It has been a very long week. It has been a long month. I've got so many ideas floating around in my brain. You know, we've got fall season coming up. I've got fall cards in mind, things that I want to do, and I apologize if my head gets in the way. I'm just trying to get these lined up perfectly, so I am sorry if you see my big noggin. Once I got my trees stamped down, I'm going to just cut out some extra masking paper to kind of cover up where I want my ground to be. So I'm going to bring the sky down, but only so far because they're out in the forest. It's going to be all snowy. So I only want a small portion of the sky up top to be ink blended with the sky. Excuse me. And the sky ink blending, I got inspiration from my last card, which I will link above here. It was my gingerbread card, and I just loved the color combination and how the sky turned out that I just had to try to repeat it again. And just to cover up a little bit more of my panel at the bottom, I just used a scrap piece of copy paper. I didn't need to use any more actual masking paper because I'm not going to be going that far down on my panel. But I just wanted to make sure it was protected, so in case I got any smudgy fingerprints or anything like that on it. Got my waffle flower stencil mat here, and I'm going to ink blend my sky here. So I'm using shaded lilac and spun sugar, along with my waffle flower blending brushes. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot talk. Like I said, I have just been cranking out ideas and working. I started a new job recently. I do work full-time outside of creating my cards, so I squeeze in the time to make cards. So if my brain gets fried, I am so sorry. I get all jumbled, but I try my best to get everything, and it's pretty late for me. I don't usually stay up super late, but I wanted to get this card finished and sent out to you guys so that I could squeeze it in here for the end of July. Next, I'm going to go in with the spun sugar and just blend until I'm happy with it, but I wanted to bring in just a little bit more of a darker color towards the top. I wanted it to be just a little bit of a richer sky. So what I decided to do is I went in with chipped sapphire. Chipped sapphire is more of a purple blue than a more of a true blue. It's got a little bit more of purple undertones, so it went really, really well with these two colors. I felt like it was just a nice kind of addition. I didn't want to bring in black soot, and I didn't want to bring in like a true blue, so I just decided to go with this color, and I felt like it was absolutely perfect. I love this blend combination. These colors are so pretty together, and I think it worked out perfectly. I'm gonna just kind of go back and forth between those last two colors just to get a nice even blend. And then I'm going to go in with the layering snowflake stencils from Simon Says Stamp. This is the same exact stencil I used on my gingerbread card, and I am going to very lightly ink blend those snowflakes across the top there, just for some subtle kind of interest in the background. And my stencil moved on me a little bit, and I started freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna have to restamp everything. But luckily I got it lined back up, and I didn't have any issues after that. So again, I do apologize about my head, but I just wanted to get that lined back up so I didn't ruin my card, so that I could continue and I didn't have to start all of that all over again. So again, just going in with those same colors back and forth just to add that blending in, and then my sky panel will be all finished. And I just love the way that it turned out. It was so pretty. I love the interest in the background. I thought it looked really cute. The last thing I'm going to do, or the last couple things I'm going to do, is I'm going to go in and I'm going to spritz it with some shimmer powder, and I'm going to go in with my white gouache, and I'm going to add a few snowflake drops, and I'm going to set that off to the side to completely dry. I want it to be super dry before I start any of my Copic coloring, because I don't want to smudge anything. I don't want to, accidentally wet anything. I want it to be super, super dry. So I spritzed it with that shimmer powder that I created with some Perfect Pearls, and then kind of dabbed it up with a paper towel. I don't want to hit it with my heat gun because the masking paper will peel up. It won't work. So I wanted to kind of just let it do its own thing, let it dry naturally, and I can continue with the card once it's completely dry. So I went in kind of lightly with the snowflakes. I didn't want to do too many. I didn't want it to be too distracting, because I do plan on adding a few clay snowflake embellishments later as well. Now that that is all finished, I want to actually take off the masking and everything like that, just so I don't get any like pooling of water or anything like that. I wanted to peel it off and see how well my masking was. And I did get a little bit of a kind of a fingerprint near the bottom there. You can kind of see it. I probably should have left it alone, but I am impatient and I was kind of crunched on time this day creating this card. So I peeled off my masks. I wasn't too worried if they ripped because they weren't that hard to cut out. So if I need to create new ones, I can do that easily. So that little smudge at the bottom was easily enough kind of fixed a little bit later. So gonna set that off to the side to dry. And then once it's all dry, I went in with a micro pen. I think I found these at Michael's, and I just added in some extra lines just to create the scene a little bit more. And I'm gonna get right into my Copic coloring. All the colors are going to be listed on the screen, and I'm going to throw on a little bit of music for you to enjoy, and we'll come back once I'm all finished.
Christmas, a time for miracles, wishing to find a remedy, hoping for better days to come. Memories of flickering shadows, cold nights, hearing the wind blows the snowflakes, reminds me of something gone. Send me lights and angels, help me through the changes, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. Show me hope and glory, write us a different story, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. Christmas, a time to be cheerful and joyful, but baby, you left me alone. So send me lights and angels, help me through the changes, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. So show me hope and glory, write us a different story, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. My only wish this year is for you to be show me lights and angels, help me through the changes, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night. Oh, show me hope and glory, write us a different story, and I'll be waiting on Christmas night.
Now that my coloring was all finished, I wanted to go in and add some cute details to these characters. It's one of my favorite things to do when I've got any kind of cartoonish styled character. I'm going to go in with my white Jelly Roll pen to start and add some highlights to their little horns, to their cheeks, around their bodies, and then I'm going to go in and kind of add little dots along the edges of the drawings to make it look like they're kind of fuzzy. I've done this recently, and I really think that it's a fun way to add some texture to critters that would almost look like they were kind of fuzzy. and I just loved how it turned out on these little guys. They were so cute. I think they are so adorable. I am obsessed with Clearly Besotted. Their items are so cute, and I think you could mix and match them really easily because they're all in the same style, and they're all just so stinking cute. And I've got another set that I got from them that I can't wait to use for my fall series, so keep an eye out for that as well. My fall series is going to be starting here soon once I get some more ideas and things, so I'm really excited for that as well. Next, I'm going to go in with my black Jelly Roll pen and add highlights to their little eyes just to brighten them up a little bit. And then I'm going to go in lastly with this Stardust glitter pen. I think this is also, who's this from? This is from Jelly Roll as well. This is just like a glitter pen, a glitter gel pen. And I'm just going around to the trees, to the top of the like little snow hills, to their presents, kind of everywhere, to kind of make them look like little like glistening snowflakes or just shimmery. You know how like the sun will hit the snow and it almost looks like diamonds? That's kind of what I was going for, and I think it really looks like that. Once I was all done with that, I wanted to get my greeting placed down here, and I am using a greeting from Clearly Besotted as well. This is a greeting from there. Oh my gosh, I can't find it. This is their Seasonal Sentiments stamp set. I am so sorry. I had to take it out. I couldn't remember the name, but it's Seasonal Sentiments. They have a lot of really cute greetings on here, and I'm just going to heat emboss it. I'm using some clear sticky embossing ink, and I'm going to use my favorite Brutus Monroe Alabaster White embossing powder to coat my greeting, and I think it turns out perfectly for this little scene, and it adds to the one layer style that I'm going for. I didn't want to add a popped up dimension. I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to keep it all pretty flat and easy to mail. Once I had that all heated up, I'm going to work on my card base. I've got a piece of Neenah Desert Storm 100-pound cardstock, and I took a few of the images and greetings from the same Christmas Yeti stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that down on the inside of my card with some khaki ink from Simon. I love the way that this looks on Neenah, and I just had to use the little Yeti holding his candy cane and have the Santa hat. I thought he was so cute. I had to use him on this card. So once I had all that finished, we can go ahead and get this card assembled. I am just going to attach my main card panel down with some Tombow Mono multi-glue to my card panel. I wanted to use this liquid glue because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room so you can get everything nice and lined up. I really like that because I didn't get this quite placed properly, so I had a few seconds to get it kind of wiggled into place, so that's why I really like using liquid glue. Now that that was all finished, I can go in with a few last minute embellishments and details. I'm going to go in with my favorite clay snowflakes from Tailored Expressions, and I'm going to attach those down with some multimedia matte, just scattered around here and there, just to add again a little bit more interest, and some more snowflakes just to add to the snowy scene that these little Yetis are preparing for Christmas in. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a little bit more shimmer with my AQUA shimmer pen from Nuvo, and I'm going to go over their little presents. I'm just going to do the top of the box and the ribbon on the other box. Again, just to add just a tiny bit more shimmer, and that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you enjoyed this cute one-layer masked Yeti scene featuring some really cute images from Clearly Besotted. Again, I really appreciate all of your support, and if you would consider hitting the subscribe and the little notification bell so you're always notified when I upload a video to my YouTube channel. Again, I appreciate your support, and I appreciate all of your views and your wonderful comments, and I'll catch you guys again real soon in the next video. I'll see ya. Bye! On
screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.